So hello guys, in today's video we are updating our home Wi-Fi. So currently I've been using the China Mobile single band XPON or a new, but we are upgrading to the dual band. We also do some speed tests so that you can see the speeds this router is actually pushing, the same speeds this router will push for me. So the internet comes from the provider using this cable. It's patched here. This is an ATB, and this is a fiber patch code. So reading the light here, I'm getting minus 12 dBm. So this router can take power levels between minus 8 to minus 28. So this one is actually in the sweet spot. So let's unbox this unbox this router and see what comes inside the router. So this is the router itself. A very good router, if you might ask me. Very well designed. And you see it has perforations. Those perforations are for cooling. So this router can run continuously. Then we have status indication for power, PON, loss of signal, the 4 LAN ports that it has, the 4 gig LAN ports. It has an indication for if you are on the 5 gigahertz band or the 2.4 gigahertz band because it's a dual band router. Then here are the ports. We have the PON ports, the 4 LAN ports, the power button, the power jack, and the on and off button. On the side, we have the reset button and the WPS. So let me now hook this router to power so that we can do the configuration for it. So once the router is booted, you should see power, the status indication for power, PON because we don't have any loss of signal, and the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz band all lit. The net, the LOS/NET will actually come on when now the router is configured. So this is the router. As you can see, this is how it's plugged. Now the signal enters through the PON port and also the power jack. So let's jump to the computer and do the configuration from there. So now we are on the computer. So the first thing to do is to connect either to the 2.4 or the 5 gigahertz band. So I'll just connect to the 5 gigahertz band. So in your case, you can connect to either the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz. Just input the password, which is 1 to 8. Then come to the browser and type the IP of 192.168.1.1. Then click on enter. So the username and password is not the one that is written behind the sticker, but the admin password is telecom admin. Then the password is admin telecom. Just click here, login. So you'll actually be thrown to now the page, now the configuration page for the HSGQ. So the first thing to do is to navigate to the WLAN section, the one section, in order to set now the parameters that are given to us by the internet service provider. So if you have VLAN enabled, just enable it here, then select here your VLAN ID. But for my case, I don't have a VLAN. And the channel mode, for my case, I'm using PPPoE. I've been given my net via PPPoE, and the connection type is internet. Just set it as internet over here. Then come here under the username. So the details for my PPPoE credential are as follows. And then just set the type to be continuous. Then come and map all the ports. So I want all these ports to provide internet. So the 4 LAN ports and the 2 wireless signals, that's the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz band. So just click here to apply the changes. So it will take like 2 minutes or so for it now to dial up, for the router to dial up, and for you to have an internet connection. You'll actually confirm. So the router has successfully dialed up. So if you were to go, let's say, to fast.com and run a speed test. So I didn't do a speed test using the previous router, but I was getting around 100 meg on the China mobile. But with this one, you see I'm pushing close to 500 Mbps. I have a 600 Mbps line to my home, and you can see the speeds I'm actually pushing over here. And the pings are actually even more impressive, because let me just run another speed test so that you can see it's not jokes that I'm playing here. As you can see, the pings are actually very impressive. So let's continue with the configuration. While that's done, if you want home internet, that's essentially how it is to configure the HSGQ router. But for us, we also need to change the Wi-Fi name for that router. So how do you change it? So you'll come here to the WLAN here interface, and then this is the SSID. First, you have to confirm which band are you connected. So me, I'm connected to the 5 gigahertz band. So first I will change for the 2.4 gigahertz band so that I will not be disconnected from the router. So the first thing is to change this. So I'll call it something like Happy Home 2.4 gigahertz. I like to separate my two bands so that I know which band I'm actually connected to. So, and then click here to apply the changes. It will actually take like a few minutes. It will just process, then it will apply now the new SSID. As you can see, change settings was successful. And then we need to change that security, because 1 to 8 is not a secure password. So here is now where you change it from. So for mine, I'll actually grade this part, and then I put my secure password over there. Then it will actually save for the 2.4 gigahertz. So when a user tries to connect to the router, he'll not actually see the default HSGQ for the 2.4 gigahertz. He'll actually see now the Happy Home 2.4 gigahertz. Then now we can change. After that's complete, now we need to navigate here back. Connect now to the 2.4 gigahertz band. Let's just look for it. Here it is. We need now to connect to that 2.4 gigahertz band, which, yes, has an internet connection, so that we can change now for the 5 gigahertz. So now when we are configuring now the 5 gigahertz, will not be disconnected. So for this one, it will also be the same name, Happy Home, but with a 5 gigahertz band annotation. So just click here to apply the changes. Then you just need to come here under security, also update the password for it. Then just click apply changes for that case. Changes have been applied. So if you are to check now, you'll actually, let's just refresh the page to refresh. You'll actually even see the Happy Home 5 gigahertz band. So what now you need to do is, those technicians who now need to create dual SSIDs for their clients, so that there's those clients who deploy both the PPPoE and hotspot on the same router. So actually, how do you do that in this router? So for mine, I'll just deploy it on the 2.4 gigahertz band. You can also do the same procedure to configure it on the 5 gigahertz band, but I'll actually show you how to deploy it on the 2.4. It's actually the same thing. So we'll just come here to multiple APs. While on the 2, for mine, I'll actually have to shift to the 5 gigahertz band, because I'm actually configuring on the 2.4. So let me just input the password for this. Now I can come here and enable this. Then I enable this one. Then I change the name of this, the first SSID. You can set up to maximum of 8, 4 on the 2.4, and 4 on the 5 gigahertz. So for this one, I'll call it Wavecore Hotspot. Then I click here to apply the changes. So it's saying the changes were successful. Let's look for on our case. As you can see now, the Wavecore hotspot band was created. But now when a user connects to that Wavecore, because it's an open SSID, you'll actually get an internet connection. As you can see, it's actually getting an internet connection. But we need that user, let's say, to pay for the service. So actually, this is impressive. On the 2.4 gigahertz band, you're getting up to 210 Mbps. On the 5 gigahertz, you're capable of pushing up to 500. That's why I'm saying this router is a very impressive router, being a dual band. So, but let's fix now the issue for hotspot. So for that one, you just need to navigate back to the one section. Now on the one here, you just need to come and click create a new link. We don't have VLAN. The mode will be bridge. We need it to be bridged. The connection type should be internet. And now the wireless that will be on that bridge should be now the wireless interface AP1, the one that we have named Wavecore Hotspot. So just click there to proceed. It will actually save. So it's like you are creating two instances on the one connection. So it's actually saying the connection was reset. Let's check if it's actually successful. The one connection. Yes, it's successful. Now, if we navigate now to the Wavecore hotspot, it should not now give me an internet, but should provide me with a pop-up. And as you can see, the pop-up is here. A client can pay for the service. Let's actually confirm it's working. So I'll just prompt my number. It will initiate an SDK push. I'll insert my M-Pesa pin. And then as you can see, we are up. And if I was to run a speed test, because the hotspot users are capped at 8 megs, are capped at 6 megs, which have busted them to 8 megs. If a user, let's say, hits 6 megs, is busted to around 8 meg. Let's see if we get now the 210 Mbps here we are getting. As you can see, it boosts to around 8 megs, but it will actually go down and stabilize at 6 Mbps. Those are the awesome speeds this router is actually pushing. And that's how you configure it. A very simple router to configure. Doesn't need any other technical how. It's just that simple. So if you also need to actually configure the hotspot also on the 5 gigahertz band, it's also the same procedure. So till next time, guys. If you're interested in purchasing the router, actually, I forgot to mention it. It's available on the website, which is wavecore.co.ke. You can go and purchase the router from there. Till next time, guys.